To be successful, you have to have your heart in your business and your business in your heart. But the quote from Thomas Watson Sr., we go into time is precious and time is money. And this is the time for Money Talk on ATN Business today on Atlantic Television Network. I welcome you viewers to a fresh episode of ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. This is the network's medium of bringing the happenings in the economy sector of the society to our discerning viewers. This program is aimed at bringing to the doorstep of the viewers the business, financial and economic financial activities from all strata of society. Its delivery is accentuated through the various stock exchanges across the world, news about government economic activities, private sector business activities, laced with experts' opinions, stakeholders' analysis, and correspondence reports. By the end of this show, you can be rest assured of being informed accurately of financial activities all around the world. I am your host, Raymond Ken Mbata, holding on for Wendy Aguma. For the headlines today, importation, MPA reports, cuts on dollar might affect gold by Let's go for a short break. When we return, we'll reel out the details today. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, and now let's go into the market reports, local and international business news for today. A fresh oil spill has destroyed farmlands and boreholes in Rumodunwere. The spill, which occurred on Sunday, is alleged to be from a Shell Petroleum Development Company facility and has already sent the community members fleeing from the affected area. Speaking to newsmen shortly after inspecting the area on Monday, an opinion leader in the community, Martin, continuing, he called on the state and federal governments to prevail on Shell to take responsibility, saying, "We call on the River State government and the federal government to warn Shell because we are not happy with them to stop spilling oil on our lands. All our fans who asked that we should call on 9 a.m. the next day." Members of the Association of Radio and Television Technicians of Anambra State, Iweka Street Electronics Market Chapter Onitsha have called on Governor Chukwuma Soludo, Police Area Commander, to stop further harassment, intimidation, unlawful arrest and detention of their leadership and members. The chairman of the board and other members of the association on Monday particularly accused the special reason for the intimidation, unlawful arrest, and unlawful detention of the traders was because of their refusal to relocate to a private market built by a businessman at the Harbor Industrial Layout. In Atani, in Obaro local government area. He lamented that an injunction obtained by the traders from a vacation judge sitting in Awka, the state capital, which directed that status quo antebellum should be maintained until the determination of their matter pending in court, was flagrantly disobeyed. He said the court also went ahead to interpret the order that the traders should remain at Iweka Road until the determination of the case. He also alleged that despite this, the managing director of the Ocha Brigade chief arresting their members and sealing their shops. But in a swift reaction, the special advisor to the governor on trade and markets, Oba, said that the state government did not want street trading, adding that the traders should go to their markets and stop blocking the roads in the name of trading. Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, is considering merging ARIC and Aero Contractors Airlines to form a national significant debts and may be unable to pay. He explained that the idea of converting ARIC and Aero into a national carrier was previously presented to the minister but was rejected. AMCON is exploring alternative options, including creating a special purpose. Central Bank of Nigeria today interest rates on deposits above 3 billion naira in its standing deposit facility. The Apex Bank disclosed this in a circular signed by its Director of Financial Market Department, Dr. Omolara Duke. Explaining the reason behind the SLF rates, the Apex Bank said that the direction was based on the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, adjusting the upper corridor of the standing facilities to 5.00% from 1.00% around the monetary policy rate MPR at its two payment system banks said that the pursuant to Section 12 and 30 of the CBN Act 2007, the Monetary Policy Committee Monetary Policy Committee at its 296th meeting adjusted the asymmetric corridor to plus 500 to minus 100 BPS from plus 100. The experts have expressed concerns over the government's handling of the economy, warning of severe economic implications if urgent action is not taken. They criticized the government's borrowing habits and stating that only 4.4% of its expenditure was used for capital expenditure. The experts emphasized the need for fiscal responsibility, urging the government to prioritize funding for the real sector of the economy and capital expenditure. They also highlighted the need for local investments to stimulate economic growth and development. The government's spending habits have been questioned, with concerns raised over its priorities and reliance on unknown windfalls to sustain its spending habits. The implications of the government's actions are already being felt, with the cost of living escalating and ordinary people struggling to make ends meet. RC has confirmed that the Oando PLC's acquisition of Nigeria Ajib Oil Company conforms to the Petroleum Industry Act. This statement responds to allegations surrounding the Oando Ajib deal, including criticisms from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Atiku had focused the government Atiku had accused the government of giving Oando undue and preferential treatment. And slammed the House of Representatives for inaction on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Nigeria Unlimited to Seplat Energy Offshore Limited is still undergoing the consent approval process, expected to be completed within the 120-day timeline provided by the Act. Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has commenced shipment of liquefied natural gas, LNG, cargoes to Japan and China on a delivered ex-ship basis. This move aligns with the NNPC's strategic vision to be a dynamic and reliable global energy source. NNPC achieved this milestone through the collaboration of its downstream subsidiaries, NNPC and LNG Limited, and in over 20 cargoes into European and Asian markets on a free on-board basis. The executive president downstream, Dapo Shegu, stated that the DES system allows NNPC to capture more market shares, built in-house capacities, and ensure global customers are familiar with the NNPC brand. The collaboration between NNPC LNG Limited and NNPC Shipping Limited has strengthened the latter's position as a world-class shipping provider in the LNG sector. NNPC Shipping aims to build a shipping portfolio to provide flexibility to its clients. At least 2 more LNG cargoes are scheduled for delivery to the Asian markets on DES basis by November, with more orders expected before the end of the year. The federal government have announced plans to reduce the rising cost of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, also known as cooking gas. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekperipe Ekpo, stated that the government would work with the regulators and producers to make cooking gas more affordable and available. The government's initiative aims to provide 1 million homes with access to clean cooking by 2030. Currently, the price of 1 kilogram of cooking gas has risen to 1,300 naira in some areas, and a 12 kg cylinder is refilled at the rate of 16,000 to 17,000 naira. EPO noted that the government would invite regulators and producers to find ways to bring down the cost. He emphasized that energy security is about affordability and availability, and the government is committed to ensuring that cooking gas is accessible to all. The distribution of gas cylinders to 300 women in Lagos strategic shifts in the market as investors adjust to emerging opportunities. Recent government initiatives such as bank recapitalization related recent activities which are expected to gain momentum. The Nigeria stock market recorded a total domestic transaction value of 2.5 trillion naira for the first half of the year, highlighting the increasing dominance of local investors. Bakare notes that the policies aimed at fostering economic stability and creating a favorable business environment have led to increased participation in the capital market. However, analysts caution that challenges such as inflation, interest rates, and FX volatility must Nigeria Exchange started the week on a positive note, gaining 36 billion naira due to the appreciation of stocks like Elema, Okomu Oil, Palm, Oando, and others. The all-share index rose by 0.07% to close at 96,037.28, while market capitalization increased to 55.2 trillion naira. The year-to-date return improved to 28.35% as 28 stocks gained, led by Elema, which appreciated by 10% to close at 23.10 naira. Okomu Oil Palm followed closely with a 9.99% gain to close at 379.80 naira. However, 18 stocks declined, with Transcorp Power recording the biggest loss of 9.99% to close at 335.20%. Abe Mortgage Bank also lost 9.69% to close at 2.33 naira. The equity market read the number of deals. And from the local stock market, we go to Oyo State government has launched a 60-day online building permit amnesty program to regularize buildings constructed without proper government approval. The program, which started on August 26, 2024 and ends on October 27, 2024, aims to improve urban planning and enhance security and safety in the state. Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Williams Akin Fumilayo, said that the program will regularize buildings in violation of regulations and process new approvals within the 60-day window. Property owners can get or regularize their building permits at a 20% discounted rate during this period. The online process, available across 33 local governments, will enable property owners to process permits without falling victim to touts and middlemen. An amnesty certificate will be issued to those who take advantage of this opportunity. However, properties illegally occupying certain areas such as the state government acquisition zone, circular road, or power line zone will not be granted amnesty. The Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Mofuluke Adebi, encouraged owners of structures constructed without building plans to key into the initiative, which will regularize the database of properties in the state and ensure more security across local governments. And right here on Atlantic Television Network, we are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, or watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Moving on with the broadcast for today, InterSwitch Group, a leading technological group, has been announced as a gold sponsor for the Africa FinTech Summit 2024. The summit scheduled for September 4 to September 6th in Nairobi, Kenya, will explore the theme. Industry verticals. The partnership with the Africa FinTech Summit aligns with the InterSwitch's vision to digitalize transactions and unlock value in key social services sectors. Founder and Group CEO Michel Elegbe expressed delight in supporting ecosystems engagement and thought leadership through the summit. The Africa FinTech Summit has become the largest annual financial technology gathering on the African continent, featuring keynote speeches, panels, workshops, and fireside chats. This year's theme, FinTech in Every Industry, highlights the penetration of FinTech across various sectors. Managing Director of Nigeria Communications Satellites, Jane Agatin Edehe, has expressed the need for satellite original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, to prioritize affordability. In Africa to drive. She envisioned a future where a single device could access satellite devices and services regardless of technology or vendor, bringing the digital divide into Africa. Drawing from her experience, Egatin highlighted the importance of understanding local market realities and nuances in driving digital transformation. She recalled a missed opportunity for a streaming service there's from loan apps and platforms, and 12.2% from traditional banks. In contrast, only 2% use cooperatives to get credit. Business owners urge the government to improve access to credit, citing challenges like high financial illiteracy and lack of business managerial skills. Some have resorted to installment payments to cushion the poor credit system. Tunde Balogun, CEO of Small, introduced the Fair app to enable businesses to grow sales by accessing willing customers. Experts recommend government interventions such as shows that the federal government's interventions had supported 660,320 nano businesses and will support 300,000 the intervention funds. Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria plans to engage international asset trackers to track the assets of chronic debtors. The Managing Director and CEO of Benga Alade announced this during an interactive section with Media Aid. petrol prices as at NNPC stations range from 568 naira to 617 naira per litre. This often leads to queues at the stations as Nigerians $900 and 1,000 naira per litre. The NMDPRA officials said that such outlets would be brought to book if apprehended. Prices of 1 kilogram of beans, tomatoes, and 12 pieces of agric medium-sized eggs rose above 200% year-on-year in July 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. The Food Price Watch report for July 2024, the price of 1 kilogram brown beans sold loose increased by 262.98% year-on-year to 2,444 naira in July 2024 from 673 naira recorded in July 2023. Similarly, welcome back to ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. After the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed to an all-time high and big tech companies pulled the S&P 0.3% to 18,665 after data from Statistics Office on Tuesday showed that the country's second quarter gross domestic product fell by 0.1% from the previous quarter. The CAC 40 in Paris rose 0.3% to 7,615. In London, the FTSE 100 gained 0.7% to 8,382 points. The future for the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average were both up 0.1%. Oil prices eased from their recent highs, which had been driven by heavy fire from Israel and Hezbollah on to 8,071 points. South Korea's KOSPI dropped 0.3% to 2,689.15 points. The S&P 500 fell 0.3% on Monday, remaining within 0.9% of the record set in July. The Nasdaq Composite fell 0.9% and pulled down by several technology companies that trend to tip the market because of their big values. Nvidia lost 2.2% and Microsoft fell 0.8%. Amazon dropped 0.9%. Meta Platforms slid 1.3% and Tesla lost 3.2%. The Dow rose 0.2% to 41.240 points, eclipsing its previous high set in mid-July. The average is less influenced by big tech, with only Apple and Microsoft among the most valuable Magnificent Seven stocks in the index. That helped limit the impact of the big tech decliners. Bond yields held relatively steady, and the yield on the 10-year Treasury rose to 3.82% from 3.80% late Friday. The stock market is coming off at a 2-week winning streak that helped keep the S&P 500 and Dow within striking distance of notching new highs. Monday's mixed market finish came at the start of the week, featuring another full slate of corporate earnings and the government's latest inflation reading. A surprising good report showed that orders for long-lasting goods from United States factories including cars, jumped at 9.9% in July. An update on consumer confidence is on tap for the Tuesday, and the United States will provide a revised estimate on Thursday of economic growth during the second quarter. Semiconductor company Nvidia reports its latest financial results on Wednesday. It has been a big beneficiary of Wall Street's mania around artificial intelligence, becoming one of the stock market's most massive companies with a total value topping $3 trillion. The stock is up more than 155% for the year. All told, the S&P 500 fell 17.77 points to 5,616.84, and the Dow Jones rose 65.44 points to 41,240.52, and the Nasdaq dropped 152.03 points to close at 17,725.77. The key report for investors this week will come on Friday, when the government serves up its latest data on inflation with the PCE, or Personal Consumption and Expenditures report, for July. It is the Federal Reserve's preferred measure of inflation. In energy trading, benchmark U.S. crude fell 48 cents to $76.94 a barrel. Brent crude, the international standard, gave up 25 cents to $80.11 a barrel. In currency trading, the US dollar rose 145.01 Japanese yen from 144.52 yen, and the euro cost $1.11, up from $1.06.